Hey guys, it's Mishka. I thought I would walk you through some tips for refreshing your life vision as I put together this little inspiration wall in my apartment. I filmed this in August when I had a lot of anxiety, but also a lot of hope for the future. I mean, I always have anxiety, let's not kid ourselves, but I was definitely in an emotional and mental state of needing some visual representation of goals, hopes, dreams, and even aesthetics right in front of me. So whether you make a mood board or just do some journaling, I hope these tips for refreshing your life vision will motivate you to sit down and work on it a little bit, maybe this week or this weekend. If you find these tips helpful, go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers before 2021. Here's how to refresh your life vision. Number 1, dedicate some time to dreaming. We're all caught in a whirlwind of scrolling and comparing our lives to others, and it's honestly really easy to get tricked into thinking that is creating a vision of our lives, or that is getting inspired. But the truest vision for your life really comes when you're focused on yourself, not on everyone else's highlight reel. The fact is, Instagram kind of is a mood board. It's like a cascade of all the people and brands you've decided to follow, so it's actually an interesting curation in and of itself. But this scrolling mood board gives you no time to absorb or act on any of the aspirations you see. And it's refreshing every 30 seconds or even faster. So what might start as an inspiration just ends up turning into absolute overwhelm. And we experience that every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. You can probably imagine how it could be a little toxic and not very helpful. So you might end up scrolling and thinking, I need a new apartment. My clothes aren't cute enough. Do I need an aesthetic dog? This is just not helpful, it's not healthy, and it does create sort of an anti-inspiration after a while, and just makes you feel discouraged and makes you focus on what you don't have. So step away from social media when you're doing your life vision refresh, when you're dreaming up what you really want. Your core desires in this life should not rely on what you're seeing on the screen. Can you even remember what your core desires are? Like, when's the last time you sat down and honestly asked yourself, how do I want to feel in this life? If you can't remember that, it's definitely time to put down your phone, turn off your computer, and just try to do some freehand writing or collaging or however it works best for you, and come up with some ideas, just some rough ideas of what you think you want to aspire to in the future. Number 2 is be patient with yourself. Just accept that your life vision right now in 2020 might be a little different than it would have been last year or the year before, and probably different than it will be next year. Because of course, I know we're all sick of talking about it, but we're in the middle of a pandemic and all kinds of things happening this year, and all bets are kind of off. It's really hard to know even how your subconscious or your anxiety or your, muse will react to certain ideas. So things that once inspired you might now feel very trivial, and some things might feel more urgent and important than others. Maybe despite what you had hoped for this year, you're focused on different things. You might have a voice in the back of your head that's saying, be reasonable. We don't have time for these lofty goals. We don't have time to dream about, these silly things. You might even feel guilty or like you're a bad person for dreaming big and wanting magnificent outcomes in your life. But just by existing, you deserve to thrive and prosper. So try to quiet that voice who just wants you to feel guilty all the time. Remind that voice that it has a place and it exists for a reason, and you can put it into context and you understand it, but you're figuring out your life vision right now, and you want to feel out the possibilities in your mind. You want to dream right now. You'll be logical later when it's time for logistics. But right now, you're just dreaming and envisioning and aspiring. And there has to be space for that. There has to be time to be illogical. There has to be time to be creative with your life vision. It cannot all be focused on logic, because your reality and your logic right now, if that determines your future, your life will never change. Because if you base everything that you want on what you know to be true right now, you're going to plateau for the rest of your life. And life does kind of jostle you around and give you new experiences even when you don't ask for them. But if we base our goals and our target, our aspirations on our current reality, there's no room for growth, and there's no room for magic, and there's no room for the unknown. So you have to shut down that very smart, logical voice, that type A voice that pops up, and just tell it to take a break so you can focus on dreaming. And again, be patient with yourself during this process. It's definitely expected that it would be a little harder to do this kind of exercise during this wild year we're having. Finally, number 3 is just to create a vision board for the new life vision you're trying to create. And I know you guys have heard about vision boards before. This is not new. There are about 1 billion vision board exercises on YouTube, but have you ever really sat down and made one? Like, I know we watch these interesting concepts online, but then we kind of click away and think, oh yeah, that might be neat. But it is actually quite powerful to sit down and put visuals in place to track and to aggregate all the different things you're imagining for yourself in the future. So you can do this on Pinterest. You can buy a piece of foam board, or like take out a piece of loose leaf paper or a notebook or whatever. And you can also, like I'm doing in this video, just make one on your wall. In August, I decided to refresh my home office space, aka this corner of our basement, with just some imagery that's been inspiring me and some images that sort of represented goals of mine. So I picked out images that reminded me to do things like embrace positivity, draw and paint more, and just do more creative experimentation and creative projects, have long leisurely breakfasts outdoors whenever possible. So again, pretty random. And also some things that were just like, be more audacious, be more bold, be more confident. So by looking at the images themselves, it might be difficult for someone who didn't know me at all to tell what I wanted from them or why they inspired me or why I included them. But for every single image, I knew what they symbolized. And that's the point. It's for you to look at something and just to get a little reminder of what you're working towards and sort of realign yourself with that thing. So put this mood board or inspiration wall somewhere where you can see it every day when you take breaks from looking at the computer, or you're doing your breathing exercises during the day, or just taking a moment for yourself. Look over at your vision board, focus on it, soak it in, and imprint those ideas in your mind. And if you see something that's not aligning anymore, remove it. You don't have to replace it right away. Curate it, change it. Again, be patient with it. Be patient with the voice that wants to tell you this is all BS and you shouldn't be focusing on this right now. It's all valid. It's all important right now. It's always important to focus on your future and your aspirations. And then take one simple action inspired by those images every day. It's amazing how quickly life shifts when you're conscious of your desires. So those are just my 3 quick tips for refreshing your life vision. I hope they give you a bit of motivation to reflect on your own life this week and create some kind of visual representation of what's inspiring you right now. Drop a comment below and let me know what's on your vision board right now, because I'm very curious. I'd love to know. Be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more content around creative living, goal setting, and other helpful themes. And of course, give me a thumbs up if you found this useful. It helps the algorithm notice my tiny little channel, and I've been just trying to get to 100 subscribers, like I said, before 2021. So here's to all of your dreams coming true. Here's to throwing logic aside just for a minute and imagining what might be possible for us. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.